SCP-2000. Object Class: Thormill.
Warning. HMCL and the O5 approved required. The file you are attempting to access is available to personnel with Level 4 to 2000 clearance only. This clearance is not included in General Level 4 Security Protocol. Attempting access beyond this point without necessary clearance is grounds for termination of Foundation employment and cancellation of all educational, medical, retirement and morality benefits. By submitting your credentials, you hereby consent to exposure to a known cognitohazardous image and verify that you have been inoculated against that image. In the event of unauthorized access, this console will become inoperable. Security personnel will be dispatched to revive you and escort you to a detention cell for interrogation. Attempting to access this file from any computer not connected to the Foundation intranet will result in immediate termination regardless of clearance. Consciousness confirmed. Retrieving file.
Special Containment Procedures. The entrance to SCP-2000 is disguised as a disused park ranger station in Yellowstone National Park. Despite several civilian trespassing attempts, the entrance has yet to be breached in the installation's record history, and no further physical containment has been deemed necessary. Protocol Plain Sight -201 is in effect for SCP-2000. Necessary supplies and replacement personnel may be delivered via unmarked road vehicles or civilian helicopter as appropriate. No personnel below Level 4/2000 clearance are permitted access to documentation regarding SCP-2000 or any protocols associated with its containment and upkeep. No personnel below Level 5/2000 clearance are permitted to access SCP-2000 below Sub-Level 3. All personnel assigned to SCP-2000 must submit to a neural archetype scan on a monthly basis. Personnel stationed on-site must submit to weekly scans to be stored locally. Level 4/2000 personnel or above stationed on-site are not permitted to leave Yellowstone National Park during the course of their assignment. In the event of transfer, either elective or compulsory, Class A anesthetics must be administered, and false memories implanted consistent with assignment to other high-security or Key-to-Class SCP objects. Additionally, personnel may be assigned to SCP-2000 and granted temporary Level 4/2000 clearance at the discretion of the item's HMCL supervisor, currently Dr. Charles Gears, and O5 Command. The exterior surface of SCP-2000 is surrounded by Scranton Reality Anchors, or SRAs, every 20 meters, arranged hexagonally to prevent incursion by hostile anomalous interference. Each SRA's function must be checked semi-annually and replaced as necessary. Technicians servicing SRA components may reference document SRA-033, Rev 1.0.7.5 Xyank Anastakos. Consent Temporal Sinks XACTS, capable of maintaining stable tachyon flux across the expanse of the facility. Maximum output rating at 100 watts each have been installed and are to be maintained monthly. Technicians servicing XACTS components may refer to document XACTS-864. One pseudo-Romanian manifold has been initiated at the entrance to Sub-Level 4 and must remain open at all times. In the event of the manifold's failure, procedure Dead Euclid 101 is to be executed immediately. Other non-anomalous life support and utility systems may be maintained in accordance with Standard Foundation Maintenance Protocol. Section 101.5 Mission Critical Components. Wherever possible, non-anomalous materials and resources are to be used for SCP-2000's maintenance and repair. In the event of any K-Class scenario which does not compromise the existence or function of SCP-2000, Procedure CYA-009 is to be enacted as soon as possible. Remaining Foundation installations globally are to monitor the scenario as it unfolds, preserving what material resources are possible under the Ganymede Protocol until such time as all remaining sites respond all clear. The SCP-2000 queries, as defined in Document 2000 XKAC-1.9. Upon receipt of all clear code, Procedure Lazarus-01 is to be implemented. Administrator Note.
I want this to be on permanent record, and I don't rightly care if you think it's an insult to your intelligence. Some things are just this important. This device is absolutely not an excuse to let down our guard or take greater risks with SCP objects or cross-test them or whatever you might have in mind. Primary containment is still our best chance at survival, otherwise there would be no reason to make the cover-up so extensive. We can only suspend God's disbelief so many times before the universe just says no. And considering what we've had to deal with in the past few decades, we may have passed that point already.
Log written by former Administrator Dr. William Fritz. Description: SCP-2000 is a subterranean Foundation installation originally constructed sometime in the last years for the purpose of reconstructing civilization in the event that a K-class end-of-the-world scenario could not be averted in time to prevent humanity's extinction or near extinction. Since its inception, SCP-2000 has been activated at least twice. Foundation records regarding SCP-2000's construction and history prior to this assumed first use have been lost. Whether this information blackout is the result of accident or design is impossible to determine. The mission-critical portion of this installation begins 75 meters below ground level and extends to 100 meters in depth. Although the scope of engineering required to recreate SCP-2000 in its entirety is impossible to execute while maintaining secrecy, all subsystems of SCP-2000 have been successfully reproduced in a laboratory setting. The installation and all procedures involving in its upkeep are mundane in nature. See document 2000-SS-EX for information regarding historic Foundation technologies necessary for SCP-2000's function. Primary power for the facility is a liquid fluoride thorium reactor, or an LFTR, rated for 1 gigawatt total output, with a reactor life of 70 years at maximum capacity. A geothermal generator has also been installed to take advantage of the region's volcanic activity. This generator is capable of powering the facility in standby mode indefinitely. SCP-2000 also contains water treatment facilities, air purification and recycling systems, hydroponic production wings, and housing necessary to permanently sustain up to 10,000 personnel. To fulfill its primary mission, SCP-2000 includes 500,000 Bright Zarshan Hominid Replicators, or BZHR. At peak capacity, SCP-2000 is capable of producing 100,000 viable non-anomalous humans per day, with a warm-up period of 5 days. Utilizing an underground Riemannian transit pipe to collect raw material from various hot springs and underground magma flows in the area, and a computer memory bank housing data on all human aliases, the system is capable of recreating any lost human genome or generating as many new and unique genomes as necessary to repopulate human civilization. Researcher's note:
Use of the BZHR system is currently suspended outside of maintenance testing and emergency situations. CYA-009 is still go. Possible hostile incursion is still being investigated, and this database is proving particularly difficult to debug. We're still seeing a distribution of cognital and genetic defects far above baseline numbers. Right now, I can only guarantee about 60 to 75% viability in new specimens. See Addendum 2000-1.
Note by Dr. Christopher Zarshan, MD, Biotech Research and Development. Humans produced by this process can be advanced to any age desired without extending the 5-day incubation period. In addition to construction features, the BZHR also has the ability to implant memories by administration of Class G hallucinogenics and developmental hypnotherapy. Life histories, neural archetype scans and genomes of many Foundation personnel, including all personnel level 4-2000 clearance and above, are maintained to ensure that SCP-2000 may be activated and procedure Lazarus-01 can be initiated by as few as one surviving human. After the implementation of the Janimir Protocol, indicating a failure of the Foundation to prevent a K-class scenario, SCP-2000's security system will unlock, allowing any Foundation employee to initiate procedure CY-009. If, after 20 years, SCP-2000 remains inactive, security will be relaxed further, allowing any non-anomalous human being able to access the facility and initiate the procedure. Once activated, SCP-2000's internal monitoring systems will attempt to locate all personnel of Level 4-2000 clearance and assess their condition. Mission-critical personnel not found will be replicated using the most recent neural archetype scan on file, and awakened prior to initialization of any other systems. After these personnel are revived, security locks will resume normal function. For a complete list of contingency options available, Level 5/2000 personnel may access Document 2000-CYA-09. Note that the receipt of the All Clear code, as defined by Document 2000-XKAC-1.9, may be waived only if all other Foundation facilities have been rendered inoperative. Otherwise, security and MTF elements revived under Procedure CYA-009 will be dispatched to all remaining Foundation facilities to confirm their function and the integrity of local reality. Procedure Lazarus-01 will begin when an authorized Level 5/2000 Foundation employee inputs the desired resume date into SCP-2000's BZHR control unit. Available units will then begin production of prominent political and cultural leaders of the time period using descriptions/genetic information on file, as well as replication of a global populace consistent with the chosen time period. Most of the SCP-2000's floor space is dedicated to storage of building materials, construction equipment, factory machinery, agricultural equipment, and computer database storage. In addition to infrastructure concerns, a wide cultural base with copies of thousands of famous works of art, music, literature, and a full backup of the World Wide Web are kept on site in the event that other repositories are destroyed. HMCL Note: discovered this note in previous iteration records of Lazarus-01. Conclusion.
If we ever have to do this again, do not set the resume date further back than 20 years before the event. Not only can we piggyback on a lot of the undestroyed structures if we do, but it will make continuity a lot easier to resume. Years is too many. We're straining personnel such as it is without having to rebuild to chronological specifications just to save time on the population and agricultural demands. Besides, how much of the 20th to 20 centuries do we really want to rewrite? And how many times? Isn't one great war hard enough to keep track of?